is Will Kohlmeyer. Welcome you back to our second segment of tonight's show, ICC Football with head coach John Williams. Well, last Thursday night we were tied at half, and of course the folks saw the first half highlights in the previous segment. What were you telling the guys at the break to get them ready for the second half?
You know, I just felt like we came out in the first half and we were still on the bus. You know, we had that sleepy look about us, and that's our fault as coaches, and we'll take the blame for that. But we certainly got them motivated in the second half to come out and come out swinging. And the message at halftime was just, hey, let's just keep playing our game. Let's execute the game plan just like we've done all week, and we'll win the game. But we had to finish, and couldn't let up.
Well, let's go to those second half highlights brought to you by the McDonald's of Monroe, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties. Of course, a couple new McDonald's locations in Lee County in the last few months. The second half, before we talk about offensive scoring, we got to talk about that defense again, Coach, and some big plays defensively, keeping this game a tie game at 7.
Yeah, in the second half we had 3 turnovers on downs, forced them out on 4th down, and had 2 field goal attempts that were pressured and resulted in not being good. It just felt like the defense just really played their rear end off and just really sold out. So just was so glad to see them and proud of those guys, and I know they're proud of themselves.
No question about that, and I know the defensive coordinator and your assistant head coach, Sean Cannon, mighty happy about that as well. Well, the Indians get on the scoreboard once again, just 1 touchdown in the third quarter, just like the first 2 stanzas, and this one put the Indians ahead for the first time since that 21-6 lead against Hines in game number 1. D'Angelo Henry, a nice little pass from Andy Wilson. Will Goodwin's extra point with about 7 minutes left in the third quarter, and it's 14-7. Good guys.
Yeah, that second drive was really good. We had some big plays by Keon McGoy and also D'Angelo Henry, and some other guys. Andy Wilson made some key throws and got some key yardage with his feet. But huge third down conversion there on a pass from Andy Wilson to Keon McGoy.
No question, that kept that drive going. So now we're after 3 quarters of play, and ICC leads it 14-7. Now into the fourth quarter we go from Warrior Stadium down in Decatur, and Andy Wilson scores his 2nd touchdown of the night, his 3rd on the year, running the football. Will Goodwin's extra point with 5:19 left in the ball game, and ICC had a 2-touchdown advantage at 21-7.
Yeah, that's the thing about Andy. He was much better this week in his throws. His decision making was better, and I think we got to see another little glimpse of his feet in action. Andy can run. He's a threat to run it. We just don't like him to. We want him to execute the plays and play within the system, and that doesn't allow him or require him to scramble a lot. So whenever we do get to call his number on a run, he takes advantage of it and enjoys that action.
Well, he had almost 2,000 yards rushing the last 2 years in high school, and he had 29 yards on 8 carries last night. But keep in mind, in college football, those sacks count against your rushing yardage. Now, East Central does score a touchdown with a minute left. And of course, East Central scored the first touchdown last Thursday night, but then after that initial drive, they could not find the end zone to the Warriors until late in the game with a minute left, and that cut it to 21-14.
Yeah, that was probably the biggest disappointment for me in the game. There at the end, we've got the thing won. Let's just hold them. Let's get them off the field. Let's get the defense off the field, put the offense back on the field, and who I think is one of our better plays just didn't play hard. He just got lazy, and that's the things right there that we have to eliminate. When we're up, let's stay up, let's stay on top of them, and let's don't let them off the hook. And that's one thing that we've got to improve on. We can't get lazy at the end of the game and think we have it won. It's a tough league, toughest in the country in junior college, and anybody can beat you, and it doesn't matter if there's 10 minutes or 1 minute, they can beat you.
Well, and I'll tell you what, Tyrone Fox and Charlie Wilburn, I know that you're special teams coordinators, and they were happy with the result with the hands team recovering that onside kick.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we practice everything, every situation that you can imagine that happens in a game. So when we get in a situation like that, it's really not a big deal. It's just routine. We do it at least, 3 segments a week in practice. So it's not a whole lot of strategizing going on. It's just, hey, let's get the hands team on the field and do our job.
Well, you did the job, and a very happy head coach and all the players afterwards, leaving Decatur with a 21-14 victory. It was the first time we played East Central since 1999. It was back down in Decatur back in 99, and of course well before we came to ICC, and it was 22-0 that night in favor of the Warriors, but it felt good to leave Warrior Stadium with a win, and now gains a little momentum maybe for the good guys as we get ready for East Mississippi.
Absolutely. We're excited to get that first win, and we kind of feel refreshed, like we have a monkey off our back, and that first one's usually hard to get, but we don't want to relish this one too long, because we got a really good team coming up that I'm sure we'll talk about in just a minute.
That's exactly right. The defending state champs, East Mississippi, come calling. We'll talk about that matchup later in this show.